Watch out. What do you say?
Stir, whip, stir, whip, 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 stir. Come on, faster all together now. Cooking can be fun.
You don't want to know, Luke. You don't want to know. Hey guys, I'm here to give you my thoughts on the movie Star Wars The Last Jedi, which just came out last week. This is going to be a very different type of review. I'm going to give my quick thoughts, non-spoilery, about what I thought, my opinion, blah, blah, blah. Then after that, I'm going to give my extended thoughts, stuff I liked, stuff I didn't like. It'll dive into spoiler territory, and I'll definitely let you guys know when I'm going into spoilers. First thing I want to say is I really enjoyed this movie. I loved it. They did a lot of twists and turns in this movie. They did a lot of new things that I did not think that they would do, and I was very surprised. Some of it I liked, some of it I didn't. I didn't hate any of the things that they did. There were just some things I wasn't a huge fan of. I loved a lot of the characters. I wish they did more with other characters. Fight scenes were awesome. The movie had a great flow of pacing, and I honestly really enjoyed it. I gotta give it probably a 9 out of 10. If you want to stay around for the spoilers, I'll explain why it's not a 10 out of 10. Okay, I'm going to dive into spoilers. These word spoilers are right here. So if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to be spoiled, get out of here and watch some more of my videos. But if you've seen the movie and you know what happens and you want to see my thoughts, then keep listening on. But if you haven't seen the movie and you want to be spoiled, then okay. First thing I want to do is talk about some of the stuff I wasn't a huge fan of, just to get it out of the way. First thing I was not too happy about was Snoke's death. And I don't mean because we didn't learn more about him. I mean, we didn't learn anything about the Emperor in the Return of the Jedi after his death or even before his death. So in this big, I want to say, climax, he's pretty much getting ready to get information out of Rey. And the build-up to what happens to Snoke is great. I like it. I like how Kylo is definitely feeling very conflicted, not because he wants to join the light side, but because he wants to figure out his own identity. But then he realizes that Snoke isn't trying to help Kylo. He is just manipulating him as well, and he is just keeping him from discovering who he is. And when he finally realizes that, he, finishes the job. At first I thought they were just gonna cut his hands off and he was just gonna be freaking out with no hands, but I don't know, earlier in the film it's revealed that Snoke has been manipulating the conversations between Kylo and Rey, and at the end of the movie that sort of happens again. I don't know if it's because Kylo and Rey are finally strong enough to communicate like that, or if Snoke is still doing that. And I'm not sure if that means that Snoke is either still alive or anything. It's clear that Snoke is dead, but I don't think he's gone. You know what I mean? Another thing I wasn't a huge fan of was the new general that was in charge after Leia was space comaed. Can't remember her name, but here's a photo of her. She was in Jurassic Park. Show the photo of her in Jurassic Park. Alright, yes, thank you. And she sort of was one of those, oh, I have a plan, but I'm not going to say what the plan is, and you're going to hate me. But then once you figure out what my plan is, then you're not going to hate me. And I really don't like characters like that. I honestly think it's a waste of time. I personally think they could have continued on the story the same way they could have, while still revealing what the plan was in the first place. If they told Poe what the plan was, and Poe was like, I don't think that's going to work. I think that's a terrible idea. I think, we should just stop the First Order from spying on us in the first place. Could have kept the whole story going. And then his push to try and bring things back would make more sense, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Other than that, some of the other smaller things I wish they did more is I wish they delved more into the past with Luke and everybody else and what happened to them. I kind of wish we got more of Chewie. Kind of wish we got more of 3PO and R2. I kind of wish we got more Luke interacting with a lot of the older cast. Like, I guess Leia is the only one I can really think of now. Now onto the parts that I loved. Kylo Ren, Rey, Finn, Poe. Amazing. I loved the development of their character in this film. You could tell that they took a big step up. Like, obviously with Force Awakens, these were brand new characters, people we've never known or seen before. And with this movie, we know just little enough about them to expand on their characters and what they could do, and they do an amazing job with all of them. I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't want this video to be way too long. I'll say this: I loved Poe the most in this movie, and I loved Kylo the second most, because what they did with Kylo was fantastic. They went to, again, a direction I didn't think that they were going to go in. They didn't make Kylo a Sith or a Jedi. He is his own identity. He finally found his own identity, which was very interesting. Luke, I really enjoyed in this movie. He probably was a Yoda 2.0. I see him as just an older Luke. I thought they did a really good job with his character, making him feel so disassociated with the world because of what he did and what happened to him, and then finally accepting what's happened and him finally stepping in to do what he can before he's released into the Force. Obviously, he's dead but not gone. He is one with the Force. He's going to be a Force ghost. I'm sure he'll be able to communicate with Rey. I enjoyed Leia in this movie. The scene that I know a lot of people are talking about is her using the Force in space. And a lot of people are acting like, oh, that's like either unbelievable, can't happen, or it's too silly. I mean, when you look at the Star Wars franchise, is Leia using the Force in space really the silliest or the most cheesiest thing in the franchise? Is it really the worst? But all jokes aside, if you didn't like the scene, you didn't like the scene. I enjoyed it. I thought it showed that even though Leia wasn't a Jedi, she still had the Force, obviously, and she was still able to do things her own way. A lot of scenes were friggin' awesome. The action scenes were incredible. The movie had a great flow of pacing. Like, it felt like time passed normally. Like, there wasn't any big gaps, or there wasn't any, like, confusing moments to understand where or when we were. It felt nice. It felt smooth. All in all, again, 9 out of 10. I enjoyed this film a lot. And I want to take this really quick moment to talk about people who didn't like the movie. It's okay. You're allowed to not like this movie. If you thought this movie was bad, go for it. But don't shame people who liked it. And those who did like it, don't shame people who disliked it. But no matter who you are, don't be a fan that wants to make a petition that makes The Last Jedi non-canon. Don't try and make a petition that forces the company to remake the movie. Don't be that guy. Don't be an asshole. If you didn't like the movie, you didn't like the movie. Don't try and push it that far, because that just makes you the worst type of person. It makes you less of a fan. It makes you a fanboy. And there's nothing cool about fanboys. DC has them, Marvel has them, political parties have them. Don't be an annoying fanboy. Enjoy the movie or don't. Whew, that was a lot. I need a drink. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little review, and have a fantastic day or night. I have no idea when this is going to be posted.